Hiya guys, West Country Explorer here. Now I'm back in West Sussex for a day or so. Last night I wild camped in Clapham Woods. For those of you that don't know Clapham Woods, it's got a very creepy, spooky, paranormal reputation. Lots of things have apparently happened there. But today, as you can see by the sign behind me, I'm at Bramber. Now my third video that I did way back when, almost 2 years ago now, was at Bramber Castle, and since I'm back here in the area I thought I'll do another video on the castle, but this time I'm also going to go around the village as well. Now what I'm going to do guys is, my first video I did on Bramber Castle way back when, I'm going to put the link to that video in the description to this one, so if you haven't seen that one you can go back and watch it, one of my very early videos, and compare it to this one. So anyway guys, let's go look around the castle and the village. Alright, now my memory isn't quite as good as I'd like it to be, so one thing I've started doing recently, for some of my videos I've started making notes and all the rest, so that I've got notes to refer to, and I've got this little sort of note jotter book. So I'm going to be referring to notes from here sort of while I'm doing some videos. It's just to sort of help me personally sort of remember information better, so hope you don't mind guys. But yeah, so Bramber Castle is in the Rape of Bramber, what was the Rape of Bramber, and a rape is a traditional subdivision of Sussex. So yeah, the beginnings of the origins of the rapes are at least currently not known, but they predate the arrival of the Normans, so it's sort of a bit of an Anglo-Saxon origins to these subdivisions. And the Rape of Bramber was created in the late 11th century, and it was created by William the Conqueror. He took lands from the Rape of Arundel and Lewis, and he sort of gave the Rape of Bramber to William de Burgos, and it's a strip of territory from the coast up to the border with Surrey. So there you go, so that's the Rape of Bramber, in which Bramber Castle is sort of located, as you can see behind the church. Yeah. We're going to look around the church in a minute or two, so that'll be good. You know, the old ditch, sort of the moat. Morning. Right. So that up there is that's what would have been the original Motte and Bailey part of the castle. Now the castle was originally a Motte and Bailey affair. Like I said, that was the Motte and Bailey bit, and then obviously the stone castle was built, the stone part. We came over a little bridge over the outer ditch, and that was added around 1209, and that was the cause of the eventual collapse of much of the curtain wall. And the curtain wall sort of collapsed in the 16th century. Now the de Barros family had the castle until 1326, at which point it passed into the Mowbray family. By the 1550s it was unoccupied and recorded as the Lake Castle, and it was used for grazing. So I'm now in what was the Motte and Bailey part of the castle, on top of the mound. And again, referring to the notes I've made, so like I said, helps with me memory and all the rest, so apologise that I'm kind of reading from notes, so yeah. But anyway, yeah, so William de Barros, first Lord Bramber, had land in other parts of the country, including Wareham and Corfe. Of course, nowadays I live sort of not too far away from Wareham and Corfe. Quite recently done videos on those two places, so yeah. And now the fourth Lord Bramber, also a William de Barros, he fell out of favour with King John III. Now the precise reasons remain obscure, though King John cites overdue money that de Barros owed, so looks like de Barros had debts to the king. The fourth Lord Bramber fled sort of first to Ireland, then back to Wales, and eventually to France, where he died in 1211. His wife and eldest son were captured and taken to Windsor Castle, so I think they're taken by the king's men. Now it's claimed they were murdered by King John III, possibly by being starved to death whilst incarcerated. Some sources say they died at Windsor Castle. Other sources say they were taken from Windsor Castle to Corfe Castle, and that it was at Corfe Castle that they died by starvation. And it was in the early 14th century that Bramber Castle passed into the hands of the de Mowbray family via a daughter of William de Barros, second Baron Barros. So that's how, yeah, so it passed through the family, like connections into the Mowbray family. Yeah. But it's a nice little place, Bramber Castle. Not much left to it, but if you're ever in the area and you've got a spare few minutes, it's worth a little visit. Right, now St Nicholas Church was built at the same time as the castle, making it the oldest Norman church in Sussex. It was originally built for a college of secular canons, but by the mid 13th century it was a parish church of Bramber. St Nicholas is the patron saint of sailors and fishermen. It's quite fitting that the church was dedicated to St Nicholas, considering the fact that up until the 16th century the River Ada was an arm of the sea that lapped at the feet of the hill on which the castle is built. Yeah, so the River Ada sort of came close to the bottom of this hill back in the day. Right, if I just come down here a sec. Right. Whizzle around. Let's see if we can go in. I don't think I've ever actually been in the castle. Not castle, church I mean. Don't get my castles and churches muddled up. So it's a bit dimpsy in here, isn't it? So there you go, there's the church. I think it's my first time ever in here. Very nice. Right then guys, that roundabout behind me, now that's on a roundabout on the Stenning bypass. Again, referring to notes guys, sorry about that, hope you understand. But that roundabout is located near enough exactly where Bramber railway station used to be. It was one of the stations on an old railway line that ran between Horsham and Shoreham by Sea. The line was opened in 1861 by the London, Brighton and South Coast Railway Company and survived for just over 100 years, finally closing in 1966, having fallen victim to the Beeching report. Good old Dr. Beeching. The old line now forms the downlink footpath stroke bridleway stroke sort of cycle route connecting the North Downs Way and South Downs Way. Now the Downs Link Way, I've walked it myself once all the way from Shoreham up as far as, where's it go to? Guildford area. So yeah, so I've walked the Downlinks Way and I've also cycled it. And if you're into long distance walking, cycling and all the rest, I definitely recommend doing the Downs Link Way. Right, either Shoreham to Guildford or Guildford to Shoreham. It's worth it guys, it really is worth it. So I highly recommend that guys, check it out. But anyway, yeah, so that roundabout, just think, so what, 66, so what, 76, 86, 96, 06, about 50 odd years ago. Yeah, so well, just about 50, 55 years ago roughly, however long, that would have been a station near there, railway station. And now it's a bypass with loads of cars going around. All good fun. That's progress for you. Right, here I am down in the main part of the village. Just up there you can see the castle and the church. Quite like this little garden, there's all the bits and pieces in it. That's quite nice. That little head over there. Lots of lovely bits and pieces there. Never been in there, might have to try it one day. Don't know when we'll try it, now that we're not living in the area. I've got a feeling Amy and I have eaten in there. I know we've eaten somewhere in the area and I'm pretty sure it's in that one, Castle Hotel. A bit further on down the other end of the village. And now there's St Mary's house. Now what I'm going to do guys is I'm going to just twizzle you around a second. Right, so I've got St Mary's house behind me. Right, it was built about 1470 by William Waynfleet, Bishop of Winchester. on land that had been given to the Knights Templar by the widow of Philip de Brosse following his death in 1125. In its time, it's been a home for monks who collected tolls at Bramber Bridge, which was a 170-foot bridge over the River Ada that incorporated a chapel on its central span. It's also been an inn for pilgrims going to Canterbury. Victorian taxidermist Walter Potter was a native of Bramber, and he's buried at St Nicholas Church, and he had a taxidermy museum in the village somewhere. Bramber in the past was a rotten borough. Between 1812 even and 1825, William Wilberforce, leader of the movement to abolish the slave trade, was the MP for Bramber. So back when it was a rotten borough. So there you go. Let's do a little twizzle around. So that's just a little bit of the village. So there you go, guys. Bramber Castle and the church and a bit of the village. Now, like I said earlier, one of my very first videos I did at Bramber Castle. So if you guys fancy watching it, like I said, I'm going to put the link to that video in the description to this one, so yeah, you can go back and see what I was like at doing videos back in the early days. So compare that one to this one and all the rest. Oh, excuse me. Well, now, guys, have any of you sort of visited Bramber Castle or the village or the church? And if you have, let me know what you think of it. Did you like it and all the rest? Drop me a comment. And so if you watch my first video on Bramber Castle and compare it to this one, it'd be interesting to know what you think about how I've sort of progressed. How have I got better at doing videos? So can you guys see a difference between me in that video and this one? So go on there, drop me a comment. Do you think I've got better at doing the YouTube videos? So watch that one, compare it to this one, let me know what you think, guys. I'd be interested to know what you think, guys, definitely. Anyway, hope you've enjoyed watching. I've kind of enjoyed coming back here, it's been quite nice, so yeah. And yeah, let me know what you think and all the rest. And guys, I look forward to seeing you in the next video. And in the meantime, the usual, stay safe, take care, and God bless.